Okay. There we go. Where would we be? We would be on number. Okay, here we go. I think we're on page Taf Reish Nun Ches, where it says Tadsheh Yud Gimel Tikuni Dikna. Then the phrase V'hanisem is tshuva. So we're going over this pasuk. Just 1 second. Going back to the beginning. What is it? So the pasuk itself says, "V'yomer Elokim Tadsheh Haaretz Desha Esav Mazriya Zero Eitz Pri." So then it says, "V'anisem Hainedech said V'anisem Es Nashel Seichem." Then it says, "Betisha L'chodesh Be'erev." So we're trying to go over these words. So then it says Adni Havaya with the nikud of Elokim. And then it says Ata Hakilosa Liros as Avdako as Godlucho Hashem Shlim Besitrui. All of this, I'm not sure what it means. So let's come over here and read the what we have here on Tadsheh. Tadsheh Yud Gimel Tiguni Dikta V'Chanisim is tshuva. So he says, look in the Hadras Melech. He says, "Bebirakan Shemaim Tadsheh Aretz." This phrase Tadsheh Aretz, Rome is the Yud Gimel Tikuni Dikta. Really refers to the 13 Tikunim of the Dikta, the Eric Anpin. V'Ayvrcha B'Yom Kippurim, and it's talking here about Yom Kippur. The Oz. Pesuchim Yud Gimel Midas Shal Rachmim Elo V'Lechein Oz Hu Hazman Shel V'Anisem as not Shel Sheichem. So this is where you see this is the Anisem. He says what is the Yud Gimel is the showing of the Yud Gimel Midas of Rachmim V'Anisem. So he says V'Chatam Shemayim B'Tadsheh Haaretz Rome is the Yud Gimel Tikuni Dikna. So the reason why it refers to the 13 Tikunim of the Dikna. Bir Sham B'Shnecha Chafanim, it's explained over there in 2 different ways. First way is Ofen Echad Ki Metachilus Maisa Bereshis Ad Maikar Tadsheh Haaretz Nizkru Yud Gimel Pa'amim Shem Elokim. Okay, that's one idea. So Tadsheh has to do with the 13 Elokims, which are bringing to this moment. So Ofen Beis is Ki Yesh Yud Gimel Tevas B'Pasuk the V'Yomer Elokim Tadsheh Haaretz Desha Esav Mazriya Zera Eitz Pri Ose Pri Lamino etc. V'Rei B'Ha'aro. So look down there, and you can try to tell us or get us into the idea. I thought there was a lot of side reference here on the first part. Let's see what it says. So he says, there we go. Rei Bahadras Melech, Yisrael B'Sol Lashona Yud Gimel Elokim, Niskru Ad V'Yomer Elokim Tadsheh Haaretz. So he's really showing us where this idea came from. Rome is the Yud Gimel Tikuni Dikna Ad Yom Kippurim. This is the 13 until you reach Yom Kippurim. Shet'ad Rabberes Nashal Seichem, I guess it's the Inu, Elafet Nishon again, Bo. V'oz Havaya Ben Nikud Elokim. Then you see the Havaya is the Nikud Elokim. The Nikud Elokim on Havaya is Bina. Hanikras Tshuva, who's also called Tshuva. So try to see how this goes together with the word Tshuva. He says Yud Gimel Tikuni Dikra, and then he says Tshuva because Bina is in that equation, I guess. So he says the Tshuva Ata Hakilosa de Haros Godlocho Chesed Godol L'Kabel Shavim, in order to be able to receive us. So I have a little trouble with this. So he has some other places that he shows this, and there's an abbreviation down here that I don't recognize. I'll read over here a little bit anyway. So he said, V'od Kosev Sham, Bahadras Melech L'Cholon, he says, V'zel L'Shana V'yom Elokim Tadsheh Haaretz Shehu Bina, HaRomez L'Hashem B'nikud Elokim. Okay, so Bina Tadsheh is really referring to, he says, Bina, which is written in the Nikud of Havaya of Elokim. Ki B'yom Kippurim, Poskim the Yud Gimel Midas Sharachimim, Miyud Gimel Tables, the Pasuk V'yomer Elokim Tadsheh Haaretz Ad Ose Pri Lamino. So then you get 13 out of that. Oz, so as you're saying, each one of them is Oz, V'anisem is Nafsho Sechem, then it causes the Anisem is Nafsho Sechem, which he says the opening of the Yud Gimel Tikuni Dikna or Tshuva. It's a little hard to see how they go together. In his words, Od Nimsa Pirish Zech Behadrus Melish, and he says the same thing again. V'yom Elokim Tadsheh Haaretz Desha Ad Ose Pri Limino. Yesh Yud Gimel Tikuni Tevos again. This is really going over the same ground that we said above. Neged Yud Gimel Midas Shel Rachamim. And Iftacha B'yom Kippurim, which are opened up at that time. T'chem Samach Lo V'Chanisem V'Nashal Seichem. So then we have this next to that is this idea of Inui Nashal Seichem Ad Kan. But in the words, I'm still not seeing exactly what he wants to say. Rei the El Sham Shatzayim Shuchu B'Pirish the Rebbe Azriel. So he said V'Hikdim. He says like this: V'Hikdim Sham Shabal the Meir Kan Hiyosha Harizal Lo Gilu Kan Ad Shain Sham. Again, and they're not sure exactly what he's saying. What did he not reveal? V'Huva Devar B'Sefer or Torah Tzemach Tzedek. He says V'zel L'Shono B'Sof. I'm not. B'Sof Daf Tzadi. Is that what that is? So I'm trying to figure it out. Parak base. Daf Kufayin Zayin. All. He said because of V'yomer Elokim Tadsheh Haaretz Desha Esev Mazriya Zera. Eitz Pri. It says Eitz Pri. On that time, with this the 9th of the month, but at the night time when you're starting into the next day. The Mitzvah Pirish B'Sefer Hadras Melech Yisrael B'Sofim B'Shum Shenizker Yud Beis Pa'amim Elokim, because you have 12 times that the word Elokim is mentioned here. The Parshas Bereshis Kodem Pasuk V'Yomer Elokim Tadsheh. So before you start this, you start that, you say it 12 times. So he said Pasuk Zen, this Pasuk, who Pam Yud Gimel. This is the 13th time. So what are we getting out of this? V'zehu Inyan His Galus Yud Gimel Midas Arachmim Gam Pasuk Zeh Ad Ose Pri Limenehu. So he says that Yesh Yud Gimel K the Tevas Ad Kan Devarav. So basically it's a reiteration, and I thought that what I would do was skip to the next column and see what he says. At the very top it says the word Tadsheh. So Tadsheh. Tadsheh is a remez, the Gilu Yud Gimel Midas Arachimim Hamizgalim B'Yom Kippurim. So that's what he wants to say, the word Tadsheh. Which I'm not sure how I see the word Tadsheh. Tadsheh, I think, is like bring forth grasses, something like that. He says this refers to the Yud Gimel Midas Arachmim Hamaskalim B'Yom Kippurim that reveal Ma Inyan Zecha LaTadsheh Haaretz. How does this go together with Tadsheh? What's I'll be now at Asishafer, so it comes out okay. Kiba Rosh Hashanah V'Yom Kippurim Adni and Havaya, those Yatzmiach Tzedakah Usahalo. So it's a pasuk over there in YOCHAI. He says so these two names Adni and Havaya, from there would grow up tzedakah and praise. So what do we got here? What does this mean? Bis arvusa beis arusach de laela, because of an arousing from up above. What's he saying? Tadsheh, that's the idea of Tadsheh, this arousal, what? Of these two names growing. I don't know, RABBI, and this is Malchus and Bina. Eitz pri osa pri, he said, behind the Yedeh B'Nisem is Nafshos and Shechem, Al Dereka Olam Haba, so he said, Nafshos Shechem, Al Dereka Olam Haba, Ein B'Lachila B'Shti, in the same way as the world beyond the grave. So he says that there was no eating and drinking then. So then what? This is the concept of the fruit tree, I guess, eitz pri, shetam etzo opirio shava, where this sounds like the lulav, the esrog tree. So he says where the taste of the fruit and the taste of the tree are the same. Ki ha'adam eitz asada. Let's go over like this. I'm still trying to find the string of this, to pull it together. I can't. See, he said, "Ki ha'adam eitz asada." The man is a tree of the field. V'yihyach b'tam tam etzo hu haguf. So when we talk about the taste of this tree, he's the tree of the field. Is his body like the fruit? What's the fruit of the tree? The tree is the panemius of it, which is really the action in the tree is the fruit. So therefore, you don't need eating and drinking. I don't see exactly how those words were together. I'm sorry, I'm a little blank on it. So therefore, it has to be that there's an inui there. Is what's supposed to say. He says by doing tshuva, there'll be a revelation of this adkan. So tshuva what? He says, I'm not sure what the revelation is yet, as I'm going on. That phrase from YOCHAI is boy of makomos, belikuti Torah, vein kan makom laharech on it, so he's not going to go into that too much. Kan the divir likuti Torah, but let's point this out. Like a land that brings forth its growth. That its seeds will grow. So he says, Hainu, let's see what he's trying to say. Hainu, B'tevis hatzmiya, mitzvahs. We're talking about the Maisa mitzvahs. U'b'kuvanas mitzvahs, and with the kuvanas that you do in these mitzvahs, hanimshach b'kol shana sheyisrael misaglim Torah u'mitzvahs, when we start storing up Torah and so on and so forth. I guess that's what it means. Kain adni havaya, that phrase adni havaya, the atzmiach tzedakah v'sachola, they'll cause this to happen as you're doing the mitzvahs. V'hu hatzmicha v'gidui ha'or shalamala. So this is the growth, this is the revelation of the light that comes from up above. When does it happen? It happens on Rosh Hashanah, v'yom kippurim v'chaseres yimei tshuva ad kan. So again, like he says, that I'm looking for something that just ties it up and tells me that Tadsheh Haaretz, the Tadsheh is referred to the Yud Gimel Tikuni Dikna. So somehow, and then it's also called V'Nisem Tshuva, and a Nisan refers to Bina. So exactly, Bina opens up and brings that out. Not sure. Let's do one more and see how this goes. So he says, V'divrei Sefer Or Yisrael Hanizker Muvoyim B'Sefer Or HaTorah, and then he said it's a quote. V'Sefer Or Yisrael Hilchos Yom Kippurim Pirish Ki V'Nisem is Nafshosecha B'Tesha Zehu Masha Amar Chazal. This is what the rabbis say. Kol Ha'ochel V'Shosecha B'Teshi, any who eats and drinks on the ninth. So we're talking about eating and drinking. He said that's what it says. So he says, so he brings, this causes the flow of bracha for the midas of malchus, which is the Eretz Elyona. This is the concept of bringing forth this growth. He says, Shaha'aretz, which is what? Malchus, Motzi Zerim Masha Kiblo, Mishamayim, Shuhu Zer Anpin, what it creates. So I don't know what does this have to do with Tadsheh Yud Gimel Tikun Dikna V'Cha Nisan, which is Tshuva. So I'm not seeing a real tie together. So one more paragraph. He said, V'agav v'asal, on the way, Nitzayer the Divrei Or HaTorah. Nitzayin. So let's point this one out. He says, Shabir b'Gavanas Sifra Tzniuta, Kan De'inyan Tadsheh Haaretz Hoya B'Yom Rosh Hashanah. That took place, Tadsheh, starting the growth. And he said, B'Zel L'Shana V'Hinech HaB'Sifra Tzniuta. He said, B'Zimda D'Malta HaB'Tishrei Yarko Shaviyah, when that had Mishtaki, he said, Tleiser to Roy the Rachme, once again, V'Yomer Elokim Tadsheh Haaretz Dasha. So once the opening comes up, then this Tadsheh comes in. But it's not really easy to understand what he's saying. On the 25th of Elul. So there he talked about Rosh Hashanah. On 25th of Elul Nivra Olam, the really ball started rolling here on the 25th of Elul. V'im came Maima Tadsheh Haaretz Dasha would be taking place on the third day, which would be the 27th Be'elul. Ve'ech Omer Shazechu B'Zimdacha D'Mat Tishrei. So then how does that work out in that phrase? But the Fiat Gemara, according to the Asi Shafir, comes out okay. Kibiyom Shlishi, the Maisa Bereshis, because of the third day Maisa Bereshis, Shuhu the Kof Zayin Be'elul. Amda Rabadayim Al Pesach Karka. They're standing there at the opening of the ground. I mean, their potential is there, they're ready to go. V'yikas Smichazim Ochoya B'Rosh Hashanah, and where they really grow, and they start growing, is on Rosh Hashanah. Behind the Ayadecha Sheba, Adam Rishon, that Adam Rishon comes along, he's there now. The Bikash Aleichem Rachamim, and he's seeking for these things, Rachamim. Behind us, so what exactly what is he meaning here? What's the ikar here? Hainuki Hamshachas Hageshem, that when the rain starts to fall. Of a matter, Nimshach al Yedecha B'Yud Gimel Midas Arachim, this all comes about as a result of the Hamshacha of the Yud Gimel Midas Arachim HaMeirim Ba'Seres Yimei Tshuva that shine at this time. So I didn't really see something that I could hang my hat on here. I'm a little disappointed in myself that I can't really figure it out better.